What up, YouTube? It's your boy Detroit Love with another video. You know, I received my backlit marquee from the retro collector and wasn't happy with the way it looked, so I put this together to fix it. So I picked up some Mod Podge, which one of fellow YouTubers used for his posters to adhere to his Arcade1Up side cabinets. I don't know why they put the sticker right over the word, but it's Mod, M-O-D, Podge. And this one's outdoor extreme, so I would assume if it works well outdoors, it should work even better indoor. But it was on clearance at Target for $3.98. I think regularly the other ones were priced around $7. My Home Depot didn't carry it. They said didn't do well, so they stopped carrying it. So you see there, it's called Mod Podge. It's a water-based sealer, glue and finish. So I'm going to use this old brush and see if I can glue this to my retro collector's base here. So sealed. Got my handy dandy neck knife. And we're just gonna apply this. I don't know how thick it should be or thin it should be, but I'll go quickly so I'm not, make sure I'm getting those edges. So I don't want to dry. You guys got a timer going? I don't know how fast I'm going. Trying to be quick. Have no idea what it should or should not be. Didn't watch any videos. Alrighty. And got some on my fingers a little bit. Should have had a rag or something over here. Got some type of cookiness. I don't know what this debris was on there, but that'll wash off. Slides. I don't have any squeegee or anything like that. Starting to settle in, I can tell. I'm gonna get some water or something, because getting the buildup. Just a little bit of water. Don't want this glue to settle or sit too long on this thing. I want to make sure those edges, feels like it's slightly larger on the tops and bottom. And I guess there's glue coming out the edges. Wipe that away. It's a little messy. Look like it's slightly short on the two sides by a little bit, but I think it should do the job. Can see some air bubbles in here. Try not to let it slide. That's shifting. Stop shifting. Squeezing out glue on the sides, on the edges. Might have put too much glue. It's not my cup of tea. Jeez, I'm getting glue on everything because it's oozing out the sides. Probably should put this in water or something. Clamp just to keep it from sliding. I don't remember these stains being on here. Alright, apply, dry, 15 to 20 minutes. Dry 72 hours before placing outdoors. Not much time has elapsed. I'm just trying to make sure I get all this junk off of it. The top says use soap and water, so just uh-oh, I got a little edge there that's lifted. I think that's the only place, this corner here, so I'll have to monitor that. Might have to reapply some to that corner. I don't know if it's getting better or worse. This stuff is not coming off. I really don't know that it's going to matter too much, but I just would rather not have this glue debris on the top, obviously, right? Putting light to it, I can see there are some bubbles, so I gotta try and get those bubbles out. Oh boy. So I'm laying across this box, identifying these areas that these bubbles are in, and just trying to work those out. While keeping it where it's supposed to be. That's the challenge. When you don't have the proper equipment to do this stuff. I think the key is getting these air bubbles out of the white. I don't think in the black area it really matters that much. I don't think, but kind of hard to get this box situated, or this setup situated properly. I should have put the grip with the bar up and not down. So let's put the bar up, see here, instead of down like I did the other side, and that way I can fit it without it getting in the way. Put it in a spot where I can still see the green and white, because that seems to be the biggest areas. So can we see anything in here? Right over here, you can see that. Whoa. Bubble here. Try and go to the side. That's the shortest route instead of trying to go other directions. Sort of gotta go by the rule my mother used to have me do when I was a kid when sweeping the floor. She says, don't sweep what you see, sweep the whole floor. So try and just work the whole thing regardless of what I see. Uh-oh, a little slippery. See, glue is coming out the sides, and then they get back on the top, and that's how you start getting this debris on the surface.
Just keep sweeping. Now we have a rag around just to wipe your finger every time that thing goes to the edge.
See there? I don't know if you can see that because the light's not here, but yeah, it's like every time you wipe, you're wiping glue out, and that becomes debris on the edge. Now, good thing I put this light under here, because at one point in time, I mean, there was a piece of hair that must have been on that brush that I didn't see, and it was under there in a very prominent point that would have been seen every time you looked at this marquee. So it's best to have some type of ability to see through this as you're doing this, otherwise you can miss something like that when it wasn't seen without the light behind it before the stuff dries. For the most part, I think we're good. I don't see a whole lot of issues. Now I do have like a slight edge which I'll try and cut off once it's dry, and you can see that the graphic didn't go quite to the edge there, and it doesn't quite go to the edge there, so that's, you know, really nothing I can do there. Maybe take a piece of electrical tape and put it on the edge. I'll just have to see how that works out. See if I have some electrical tape. There's a bubble there. Just make sure there's no glue. And then, but yeah, it looks a lot better. The whites look white. With those bubbles in there, it looked pretty crazy. Look like a white piece of paper. That's what it should look like. Alright, we'll just let that dry. So here's the end result. I took off the bad Galaga sticker. I don't know what I did with it now. Over here. The faded, you know, missing all the midway and valley So I took that off the retro collector and put the vinyl that I got from the, what is it called? I don't know, I think I should be prepared. Broad Street. And I used the Mod Podge to glue it on. I think I used a little too much. And so I had a lot of excess glue coming out that shouldn't have been. So when I do the next one for the Street Fighter that I'm going to give away, I'm going to use less. And so I got a lot of debris like on the actual sign, but you can't really see it. Now this is the retro collector, so you know it has the one smaller screw and it has the two smaller wooden dowels. But because this vinyl is the proper black, the light doesn't escape, so you don't see the screws or the dowels because this is the proper black and the proper thickness, and so it doesn't have a problem. So the retro collector, you know, offers a version that doesn't have their sticker on it or their vinyl on it. So, you know, that's one thing to consider, whether you get the one from the Arcade Game Factory. They also offer one without the vinyl, or the retro collectors, and then get the vinyl from Broad Street Graphics. So yeah, that's something to consider. So I salvaged that Marquee by putting on the graphic that I already purchased from Broad Street. So I think it looks fine. So now let me back up a little bit here without falling over. Turn the storage off. Now again, I have that LED, and it doesn't look like this. You know, when I get farther back, it looks sort of washes out, but it doesn't look that way. It looks perfectly fine. That one looks perfectly fine. But when you put them together like this, the lights sort of play. It's hard to get those things to focus properly from a distance. But now I have both my arcade machines with backlit marquees by salvaging the marquee from the retro collector. Alright, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in getting some Mod Podge and taking off the graphics and putting on your own, that's something, if you're willing to do that. This costs, what was it, $3.98. That's cheaper than the postage to return these two to the retro collector. So I think it's perfectly fine. So this is with all the lights now. I sort of have a couple of lines for me putting that what do you call it? Can't even think right now. This guy here. Man, my brain is not working. So I sort of have some little lines from that. Probably should put a little cloth or something before I put that on, so I'll know that on the next one. And it has a little debris. It's kind of hard to see from the glue, but it's not noticeable at all up close. There was a little bit of lip here that I could trim off on the bottom, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm happy with it. No complaints. I may get like a little black electrical tape and put down these sides just for that light that bleeds out, same as over here. I may do that, but you know, I've been taking these things apart and putting them back together and taking them apart and putting them back together, you know. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. For you guys that you take it apart the one time, you learn from my mistakes and learn from my experience, that's something to consider. Having some black electrical tape ready on hand to put on the sides there. You would have to cup it around the extra, because this particular vinyl is a little shorter than this the acrylic, so you would actually have to cup that vinyl, that black electrical tape around the edge a little bit. But you know, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm happy with the way it looks now, and happy to have my machines coming together. You know, just still waiting on my coin box here from X Arcades. They said March 31st, so basically April ship date. So once I get that, I see I do have a little lift here on that, on one side for some reason. And what I ended up doing with these other ones, I just remember they kept lifting on those two edges down there, and then right here and there. I was too lazy to take everything off, so I just cut it when it was like bulged out. I just snipped it and then just put a smaller piece. You can't really notice it. I did the same down here. If I get zoom in, you can see it. And I didn't take my time getting it on exactly right, but you know, when you're back from it, you don't see it. So, you know, I could have took it off. It's not a long piece, but I just said I'll try that. If I ever want to just redo it, I have plenty of tape left, but I'm not going to worry about it. You know, I'll do enough things with these, but they're coming together, and I'm pretty happy about it. All right, guys. Until next time, I'll see you on the web.